Welcome back to the show, everybody. James Rule, XRP, Wednesday afternoon, actually Wednesday evening, another video to get out to you. I've been doing a lot of research. I've been talking to a lot of people. I created a Spaces this morning. We talked about how I got scammed, how to protect yourself, and I'm going to continue to teach you and teach the crypto teachers around the world, the good, the bad, and the ugly of crypto and blockchain. So let's go ahead and get after it. I am a crypto teacher. I'm not a financial advisor. We got a few tabs open today, and let's have a good time. I am creating something new. TeachCrypto.io, blockchain education, learn crypto every day. And what I'm wanting to do is just make a web page. I'm not going to charge you every month to talk about the scams, to talk about XRP and the XRP ledger, to talk about Stellar XLM, to talk about VeChain, to talk about HBAR, to talk about Flare, just to briefly educate you about what all these different blockchains are, because many of you out there are running to these different cryptocurrency exchanges. You're buying XRP, you're buying XLM, you're buying VeChain and Flare and all this, but you really don't know what the underlying technology is. So I'm looking at creating a basic page where you can go to, share it with your friends, and just learn. But I'm in the starting process. I'm getting my own personal email set up for the business, so bear with me. More to come very soon. So yeah, this morning I created a Twitter Spaces or X Spaces, and people from the audience came up, told me how they got scammed. I told them how my account got hacked, what happened, and how to stay safe. And I'm going to continue to create more of these spaces, and we're going to have a good time. So let's go ahead and briefly look at the numbers. We're getting a little bit of recovery. Total market cap is about 4 trillion. Bitcoin is up to 114,036. Ethereum is at 43.29. XRP is back to about 296. We're right at that $3 threshold. So we're still in pretty good shape, people. We're still in pretty good shape. It could go any way. It could go down. It could go up. But eventually it's going to go up, and we're going to have higher lows, and we're going to have higher highs as the adoption of these blockchain technologies start to come to fruition. So let's go ahead and get into it. So this morning I mentioned something, and everybody thought it was very important, and I'm going to reiterate it. Every account that you have, whether it be your bank, whether it be social media, whether it be PayPal, Amazon, FedEx, whatever, make sure that every account you have has a different password. Do not duplicate passwords, people. Somebody at those organizations can go to a different account of yours and put in that same password and have access to all of your information, all of your money, all of your crypto, all the above. Make each one of them unique with numbers, characters, random words, and make them long. Make them long where you have to write them down and read them every time to key in your passwords. Never save passwords to the cloud. Never save them on your phone. Always write them down, and always, have them with you so that you could log in successfully to your accounts. Ripple is proud to be a founding member of TRM Labs. I'm following TRM Labs. Beacon Network, a first of its kind real-time crypto crime response network. Working with industry and law enforcement, Beacon helps stop illicit funds before they exit the blockchain. And before I get started with this, I want to say hats off to Bank Social, who is already doing this, and I'm going to show you Bank Social. I interviewed them a week ago. After I show you what Ripple is a founding member of, this is TRM Labs. They're introducing the Beacon Network. Here is a short 2-minute clip that'll give you a better understanding. Check it out.
Over the past year, criminals have stolen over $20 billion of cryptocurrency from victims all around the world through scams, ransomware attacks, and hacks. At TRM, we specialize in working with law enforcement to trace and recover those funds. But there's a big problem. Crypto moves at the speed of the internet. By the time investigators trace stolen funds to an exchange, it's often too late. The criminals have already cashed out. The reality is, we've never had the technology nor the connectivity needed to move as fast as the criminals. Until now. For the past 6 months, we've worked alongside dozens of partners across the crypto industry and dozens of law enforcement agencies all around the world to create Beacon Network, the first ever real-time crypto crime disruption network. Here's how it works. Vetted investigators from law enforcement agencies flag addresses holding illicit funds. As the funds move, TRM automatically propagates the flag to downstream addresses in real time. If the funds reach an exchange, Beacon Network sends an immediate alert, giving exchanges the chance to work with law enforcement to stop the offboarding of illicit funds.
Beacon Network is the first public-private communication network for Web3 incident response, which is very exciting.
It's always important to try to be one step ahead of the criminals, and rapid information sharing promotes that goal.
There's no program like Beacon Network. It really is an early warning system that enables us to support law enforcement in its efforts to freeze illicit funds and ensure that we can get those funds back to victims.
It will give you a level of visibility and shared intelligence you simply wouldn't have on your own.
We think it's critically important to have in place robust private-public partnerships.
Joining Beacon Network is a great way to contribute to a safer crypto ecosystem.
So I'd encourage every compliance and business leader in crypto to step up, get involved, and be part of the solution.
This is what real-time crypto crime response looks like. It's working and it's growing. Beacon Network is live, it's free to join, and it's already helping us stop illicit funds before they move. I hope you'll join us.
Yes, indeed. That is fantastic. And as you saw in the videos, all of these different centralized cryptocurrency exchanges are jumping on board. They're giving their feedback. I actually signed up on the Beacon Network today with my primary email, and I want to give them my feedback. I want to see what they're doing and maybe give them some, feedback of what I've seen for the past 5 years. But this is the announcement on their page, trmlabs.com. And right here, this is the Beacon Network webpage. And you can see all these different companies that are working with TRM. You got Ripple, you got Stripe, you got Kraken, you got Robinhood, you got Crypto.com, Anchors Digital, HTX, Poloniex, and all these different ones. And if you scroll down, I'm going to leave a copy of all this in the description of this video. If you scroll to the bottom here, you can actually go in and join the network. It has to be a business email address. It can't be a Yahoo or a Gmail or whatever. It has to be an actual business email address. So check it out, and we'll see what they have to offer, because all these scammers are getting better at what they do. And as the world of cryptocurrency evolves, I got scammed. Everybody's getting scammed. Everybody's losing their crypto, and hopefully all these organizations are going to be able to track the hackers before they, actually liquidate all of the crypto assets. Now, here a week ago, I interviewed the team at Bank Social, and I want to thank them for participating in the video, because we talked about scams. We talked about credit unions around the world that are going to incorporate, and this company here, Bank Social, is incorporating cryptocurrency into credit union software where you can purchase XRP or Bitcoin or whatever right on the fly at these credit unions. And I actually interviewed the team. John Wingate, the CEO. Justin Hansen came from the CIA, the FBI. Then you got Anthony, and you had me interviewing them. If you would, go back and watch this video. You're going to learn a lot about crypto hacks and what you need to do if you've been scammed. So let's go ahead and keep going with it. Check it out. Tyler and Cameron Winklevoss with Gemini. They own the Gemini exchange. Donated 188 Bitcoin, or $21 million, to the Digital Freedom Fund PAC, backing Trump's push to make the U.S. the crypto capital of the world. The PAC will fund pro-crypto candidates, push a Bitcoin Bill of Rights, and fight against central bank digital currencies. And we do not want central bank digital currencies, government-held digital assets that they could trace. They know where you're spending. We don't want that in the U.S., people. Paul Atkins, SEC chair, is a total flip of the switch compared to the Gary Gensler, who was the previous chair at the SEC. Gary Gensler was anti-crypto. Gary Gensler was anti-blockchain. Paul Atkins states here that very few tokens are securities. What is Project Crypto? It says, the U.S. and Securities and Exchange Commission and SEC Chair Paul Atkins are actively signaling a sharp policy turn on digital assets. On August the 19th, yesterday, during the SALT conference in Wyoming, Atkins said that only a very few crypto tokens should be treated as securities. He further clarified that the tokens themselves are probably not securities. According to Atkins, the classification of the tokens depends on how they're packaged and sold, which is a visible shift from the SEC's enforcement-led posture led under former Chair Gary Gensler. From the SEC's perspective, we will plow forward on this idea that just the token itself is not necessarily the security. There are very few, in my mind, tokens that are securities, but it depends on what the package is around it and how it's being sold, said Atkins. So there's a lot of going on. There's a lot of fighting between the SEC and the CFTC, commodities, securities. And they have a ton of different digital assets, thousands upon thousands in circulation, that they're going to have to classify. So Fed's Bowman suggests allowing central bank staff to own small amounts of crypto products. This also happened in Wyoming. It says that the Federal Reserve top regulatory official suggested on Tuesday that central bank staff should be permitted to own small amounts of crypto products, arguing experience would better inform their work policy activities or policing activities in those financial markets. So if they owned crypto, if they moved crypto, if they saw how blockchain technology works, it would give them a more broad perspective of how they're going to police their policies at the feds. It says Fed Vice Chair Supervision Michelle Bowman said easing restrictions on staff investments may also help recruit and retain expert bank examiners, and de minimis holding of crypto and other digital assets would help staff developing a working understanding of those products. That's what we need. They need to know what this blockchain is. They need to know what the underlying technology is of all of these different cryptocurrencies, and they'll have a better understanding of how these different blockchain technologies are helping the world, people. Ripple enters agreement with Gemini ahead of the IPO, and I have some news from Gemini. I cannot mention it. It involves XRP. They've been putting some breadcrumbs out to the public, but I'm not going to be able to announce anything until Monday. So stay tuned for the Gemini crypto exchange and XRP, and I'll tell you what it's all about. But right here it says Ripple enters agreement with Gemini ahead of their IPO, Gemini's IPO. And basically what they're doing is Ripple is going to lend them up to $75 million in RLUSD, the stable coin. And there's a lot of things happening. All these companies are working together. Ripple is working. Ripple is purchasing companies. Ripple is buying companies. Ripple is buying stablecoin distribution companies. I mean, Ripple has applied for a national bank charter. So get ready, people. When I say XRP and RLUSD is something massive now and you haven't seen it yet, get ready, people. I mean, get ready for some massive things to take place. And I'm just so excited that I could be a part of this community, being able to teach you some of these things before everything goes full blown batshit crazy. So anyway, have a great evening. I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday. Let's see what other news comes out. Be sure to subscribe to my show. And thank you very much. James Rule XRP is out of here. And I told you so.